Ok, solamente le oprimes.
Okay.
Ay.
Okay. Hello. Today I'm going to interview Ms. Camillo. She is a ESL teacher at Ansa Trail School. Welcome, Ms. Camillo.
Oh, thank you. I'm very
Today,
excited to have this opportunity to visit with you and talk to you about my profession and working with the students I love so very much.
thank you so much. So I'm going to start asking the first question. It is, what do you think is the relationship between language and culture?
I believe that language and culture are very, very important, especially in an ESL classroom. A teacher who is knowledgeable about the culture where students are coming from helps them be more effective. If you understand where a child comes from and the way they live and how their families interact with each other, that in that way you can help the child um, and get them to buy in to learning a new language.
Very, that is very important in my as a ESL teacher. So let's go with the second question. What is the influence of culture in the process of the foreign language process?
Well, it's very, very important. The influence of culture in the process of learning a foreign language is crucial to being successful as an ESL teacher. In order for students to feel comfortable, they have to buy into trust the teacher. And if the teacher knows about their culture and they give the student an opportunity to teach the other students about where they came from, then um, the students also buy in to learning about each other and also can learn to trust the teacher and to actually learn to take risks and learn a different language. Instead of just being quiet and sitting, they're actually actively engaged and they know that the teacher cares and understands where they come from, what their culture is.
It's very important the relationship between the teacher and the student. I agree. And that question is, which cultural expressions do you know countries have through language?
Culture expressions. I would say all countries have their own cultural expressions that are very different. In some countries, they're taught not to look at the teacher straight in the eyes. And so when you are addressing them, you need to understand that they may not look you straight in the eyes because it's not culturally respectful. Whereas maybe American culture expects the students to look at them straight in the eye. And you better listen to me and you need to look at me. But then you might have students maybe from Mexico or from other countries that don't look at you, and you might perceive them as being disrespectful because they're not looking at you. But it's in their actual culture, it is respectful to not look at you. So you need to be aware of where the students are coming from and what their cultural expectations are in their own countries, so that when they come here to our culture, you can relate to them and explain how things are here in the United States, and it's okay to look at the teacher or whoever's talking to you in the eye, or maybe might get upset with you or whatever.
That's right. Okay, the fourth question. Why do you think is it important to have an oral tradition in a country?
Okay, so I'm a bit confused on an oral tradition. I think all countries have their own oral traditions, and I think it's important to know. I have a student; he's from China, and I have many stories that we read here that are Chinese based, and he'll tell me that's not how it is in China. The story is different, and then I'll tell him, okay, well, how's your story in China? And then he'll explain the story, what it's like, and why it's different. And so I think we need to understand that also stories are very different, and they can be similar, but they also have their differences. And I think that the differences need to be made knowledge, it needs to be said and talked about, and so that the student feels comfortable. And your main goal as a ELL teacher is to make sure that the students feel comfortable so they can take risks and learn a language and feel comfortable taking that step as they learn language.
I think that the oral tradition is that happening also in South America. In people speak Spanish, for example, Ecuador with Colombia, they speak the same language, but for some words, the meaning is totally different.
Right.
They call the fruits another name. For example, for the strawberry, they say frutilla, and we say fresa.
Right.
So it's totally different. So in every country, it's different. The meaning about the words, it's the same language, and writing maybe but it's different meanings. So
right, and the same here too in the United States. There's some areas, maybe in Texans might say things in a different way, and maybe people from the West might not agree with that. Or from the South, yes.
Yeah.
And so it just depends. You need to be very aware of where students are coming from and the cultures that they bring with them.
Okay. The next question is, what do you think? Do we teach language using culture, or do we teach culture using language?
Well, I think we do both. In order to be successful, you really need to teach language through culture, and culture through language. I think you've got to do both. They're tied to each other. And I think the biggest thing that we need to do is make sure that we teach respect, and that it's okay to have individuality, because if we had a world of everybody the same, our world would be so boring. And so I try to teach students that it's important to be respectful and to be aware of others' beliefs, and no one is right or wrong. It's just how we are to make us unique individuals.
Okay, last question. Did you take into account culture in the strategies you use in your English classes?
Of course, I have to. Like I told you, I feel like using culture and understanding the students' culture and talking to them about it helps them trust me as a teacher. And so once they see that they can trust me and I know about where they came from, I understand them, I care about it, then that's when they try to care about what I'm trying to teach them. And if they see that I'm involved and that I want them to succeed, I think they are more able to take risks and say what I want them to say, or complete the assignments I'm giving them, as long as they believe that this particular assignment is going to help them, because they're going to do whatever. Some examples. I have a student, and I talk about him mainly because his culture is so different than ours. Because right now from China, and he was talking about how he lives in a high-rise apartment in Shanghai, and that he doesn't have. His family really doesn't eat at home, but they can go out of his apartment, and he lives in a high rise, so he goes down the elevator, and then he goes out and he can go and eat at any types of food that are available 24/7. And all the students were like so amazed that he could just go and eat wherever he wanted to, and then that food was very inexpensive for him. So I think, and then other things I have him do is play his music that he likes. And this is when listen to this Chinese song, and we listen, and I have everybody listen to it. And so we talk about it, talk about Chinese rap, we talk about Chinese acrobats. I mean, all kinds of things, right? And I have the students see videos about acrobats acting and about the Chinese songs. Isn't this a cool song? Even though you don't know what the words are, but the music sounds cool, right? And so doing that with him makes him feel comfortable. And him feeling comfortable allows him to take the risks needed to learn English. And he almost passed the O level. So the English language assessment this year, he missed it by 1 point. So he's only been here for 8 months, and he almost passed his O. So I was very impressed with his growth this year. But all my students, no matter where they come from, I think it's really important to understand their culture, know where they come from, and have them believe that I understand them, and I can understand them because I understand the culture and where they come from. I think in order to be an effective EL teacher, you've got to get it. And I've had a lot of success. I've been a teacher, an ELL teacher for more than 20 years, and I usually have some of the highest scores in the whole district.
Wow.
And so,
Congratulations.
and I do that because I really embrace the culture aspect of it. I try to have parents involved. If I'm finding that the child's not relating to what we're doing in the classroom, I try to get them here, try to get the parents involved in what we're doing, try to understand where they're coming from. Culture is so important in all aspects of teaching, reaching these children. So I enjoy my job. Happy you asked me these questions.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate your time. You giving me this opportunity to make this interview with you. And thank you so much for everything you do to the students, and you help them to improve and just get ready.
Yes.
And yeah, they feel that's good that they can feel special, and they can feel that it's not only learning English, but they don't forget about
their native language, right?
Yeah,
and I teach them that it's important to know more than one language, because in their future jobs, a person that is bilingual, trilingual, that the persons that know more languages are the persons that are going to get the best jobs. So it's so crucial that students learn more than one language.
It's very, it's a good experience for them. For example, my daughter, when we live in Turkey, she loves Turkey, and the culture is totally different. The American Colombia is totally different. But she just understands why the women, for example, use the
burqa,
the veil, and she understands. So she respects that in the school. Teach them how they have to use, appropriate clothes, because it's respecting the culture. But they are living in Turkey.
Right.
It doesn't matter that she attended to American school, but they keep in mind that they are in another country, and they know that culture is very different. And that is good, the kids can learn from
each other.
And about the cultures, and get the knowledge about, oh wow, in China they do this, so that's nice, and they have, that is something that is going to keep for the rest of
their lives, right.
And that is awesome. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.